The National Debt Advisors has revealed that South African women are earning less and accumulating more debt as compared to their male counterparts, primarily due to the country's gender pay gap. Now, this issue disproportionately affects women, particularly single mothers, and Stats South Africa reports a 30% pay gap across various industries in the country, and nearly 38% of South African households are led by women, with approximately 6.1 million homes primarily supported financially by women. Now, NDA says these statistics are deeply concerning as the labour market in South Africa remains skewed in favour of men, resulting, of course, in significant gender disparities in employment opportunities. Doret Jooste, Head of Money Management and Advisory Enablement at Standard Bank, joins us now to weigh in on this topic. Doret, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. Look, budgeting on a single income and paying off your debt on time is a delicate balancing act, made worse when you're already heavily indebted with no means of generating extra income.
Thanks, Alicia. Thanks for having me. So definitely agree with that. And I think what's very interesting is, you mentioned now the stats we see in South Africa. What we also see is this phenomenon being a worldwide and global trend. So the World Economic Forum estimates that only 1 in 2 women gets paid the same as their male counterparts. So it's a challenge not only for women in South Africa, but even across the continent and across emerging and developed countries in the world. Now, at Standard Bank, we've got about 12 million retail clients, and we've done analysis and just a quick view on some of the stats we see in terms of money management behavior that we see from women versus men. And it's actually painting an encouraging perspective in terms of how women are developing positive and relevant money management habits. So to give you an example, women are less likely to intermonth go into excess on their transactional accounts, where they, for example, need to access their overdraft or even an RCD than men. This shows they're more disciplined in terms of keeping their money and probably also have, apply better planning skills. What we also see in terms of debt holding is if you look at the type of debt women hold, more of women compared to men compare the two populations hold secure debt. Now, secure debt are things like, a home loan, a vehicle finance, and it's generally seen as positive or healthy because you're financing an asset. Then the last thing I wanted to share is on savings for emergencies. So we see about 1 in 2 and having active savings towards emergencies. So that savings account where they can easily access it and make use of it in case of unexpected expense, versus only 2 in 5 men. So I think seeing this, the behavior and habits that women have actually been forced to develop actually supports their longer-term financial situation with stuff they have in control and what they can do. And I think also to answer your question, when it comes to a single income, you need to have a good plan. You need to know that every single cent matters. So where is your money going and where are you allocating it towards? And I think also when we talk about single income, and supporting households and even further family, they need to also be in on the plan. They need to support you. I'm a mom of 3 young kids. I know I want to give my kids everything that I didn't have when I grew up. But involving them and saying, what are the priorities of the family? What can we do? What do we need to think about? Are all ways to support somebody with a single income so that everybody goes together and we actually don't have pressure just on that individual bringing the income.
Look, Doret, how should one then cover their debts and manage their payments when they're already financially overstretched? We often hear the phrase from consumers that how can I save what I do not have? A reality of most South Africans in the current economic space. We're currently grappling with record unemployment figures and millions relying on the government grants to survive.
Yeah, definitely, Alicia. And I think, this is where we need to go into the details. So If you look at average salary and income, when we think about budgeting, sometimes we do it like informally in our heads. I've got amounts, I know roughly what I'm spending, but we need to go into the detail because it's oftentimes that invisible spending that gets us into trouble. And yeah, I'm specifically focusing on middle income clients. And things that we encourage our clients to look at are ways in which to free up cash flow. So let's give an example. If one, for example, pays about 60 Rand every day when you're at work on a lunch or a coffee, that adds up in a month. It can easily, that 60 bucks every day, add up to 1,200 Rand a month, 14,000 Rand a year. So it's those that we need to get. Also, other things are like when you think about short-term insurance, like vehicle insurance, there are lots of providers where you can actually start negotiating rates, look at where the low premium is still the same level of. There are also things that, we know everybody is struggling, and with high interest rates and high inflation, many households are doing this. So how can we start pulling together and maybe support each other? Yeah. Examples of like carpooling, sharing transport for kids going to school, etc. So it's really going to that level of detail in terms of spending, see where's any invisible spending that we can pick up, and maybe that can add up in a month, that can help us make, our debt repayments, and can also help us start saving.
And Doret, I'm missing certain parts of your points there. I think our line is a bit, bad. But I just want to, on the back of that, if a person, right, is currently drowning in debt, what current steps can they take legally, of course, not going to the Mashonisas, to make sure that they get themselves out of it, and in a way that will also enable that specific individual to still be a financially active consumer? And what advice then do you have for those who are already struggling financially, not because they don't work, but they are just not making enough money to service their debts?
Absolutely. So I think the first point is to say, we've spoken about the freeing up of cash flow. Mm-hmm. Let's get that underway. And then the second thing is, and I just want to check, Alicia, that you can hear me still.
Yes, I can still hear you now.
Okay, awesome. Then I think the second very important point is that oftentimes, when we're under financial strain, and especially when we're worried about not being able to make our debt payments, we tend to not engage with our financial institutions. Now, I think in this situation, the opposite is actually needed. The sooner you can contact your financial provider and have them help you make a plan, the better. So to give you an example, at Standard Bank, we follow a very individual-based plan and assistance when it comes to helping clients that are under financial pressure and under pressure of making their credit repayments. So we've got a dedicated debt care center where we will work with a client on the individual basis, looking at the products, looking at their income and what they have to work with. And we will then work on an individualized action plan that we can help that client with. So because it's individual, it differs, but some of those solutions might include a payment holiday to give the client time to rehabilitate and then resume their credit repayments. It might also include a debt restructure where we bring a couple of loans into one loan and have that at a lower premium to also assist the client. So I think the big thing here is the sooner you can reach out and actually speak to your bank or speak to your credit provider, the sooner you are able to make a plan.